Welcome everyone today. Happy Tuesday it is. We're so grateful for you coming and taking your time to join us for another educational webinar from Henry Schein One. My name is Jason Clegg. I do marketing for the Dentrix line of products for Henry Schein One, and I'll be hosting today. We really know your time is so valuable, and we appreciate you being here with us today. And the topic that we have today is 3 reasons your patients will love electronic billing and payment. And when I think about this topic on billing and collections and payment processing, which we call on the back end revenue cycle management, I can't help but think of somebody that has really walked in your shoes and has helped so many Dentrix practices adopt these technologies to improve their businesses and make them healthy and strong in this type of environment. And so that happens to be Dana Johnson, who I have on today. Hi, Dana.
Hey, Jason.
Thank you so much for joining us. Dana is the founder and CEO of Navoni. And I have a couple of things to announce here, and then we'll turn the time over to Dana as she gets her presentation ready. But first off, we have a handout. It's on the featured product of today, and that's Quick Bill Email. And you can learn more about that by grabbing that down, or the handout. And then after Dana's presentation, we will do a quick Q&A and have Dana answer some of the questions that arise. And then once we close the webinar, we're going to have just a short survey, a 6-question quick survey that we'd love to have you fill out if you would, please. So anyway, that's what we have going today. And again, thanks so much for your time, and thanks for Dana's time willing to share with us her lessons that she's learned doing these type of things. So without any further ado, we'll turn the time over now to Dana Johnson.
Hey, thank you, Jason, so much. Oh, it's always a pleasure to be here, and happy belated Valentine's Day for everybody out there. And I appreciate this is one of my favorite topics. And, you know, because I've kind of been taking this whole first quarter and talking about revenue cycle management. So this is definitely one of my favorite topics. You know, before we dive into the content of today's topic, I want to get to know like who's on today. And if you don't know me, then you know, what I want to do is just kind of introduce myself. I've been in the dental industry for a little over 25 years. And so I want you all, everyone that's on today, I want you to get a little bit familiar with the technical side of GoToWebinar. So there's a little chat box there that you can see. You open up that chat box. I'd love to hear, like, how long have you been in dentistry? In that chat box, tell me, have you been in dentistry for 3 months? You're brand new to dentistry, or have you been in dentistry for 30 years? So use that chat box right now. I want to see who is online with us today and find out, you know, where you all are coming from, and so that we can get a little bit of idea of who's been on. Let's see, we've got Kate, she's been on in dentistry for 10 years, and Leslie for 9, Corinne, 13 years. Awesome. Look at that. We have a great span of dental industry on today. So a couple more things about me. You know, I am the founder of Navoni. I'm part of the Speaking and Consulting Network. I've been in dentistry for, I've been a Dentrix trainer since 2006. So my gosh, I'm going on my 16th year as a Dentrix trainer. So now in the chat box, I want you to tell me, how long have you been using Dentrix? So maybe you've been in dentistry for 14 years, but maybe you've only been using Dentrix for a year. How long has everybody been using Dentrix? I've been using it since 2003, so a very long time. But I learn something new every day. I learn something new every day from all of you. And so I love doing these webinars and learning new things. Let's see, we've got Tracy, she's been using it for about 5 years. Patty, over 7. Awesome, you guys. Oh, we've got a great group on today. I'm super excited. And again, one more thing about me, I love to golf, I love food, and I love to climb in the Rocky Mountains. So that's just a little bit about me. And I'm super excited that you all are online with us today. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm now going to turn my camera off just because you don't need to be looking at me the whole time, because we have some really great content for you today. So please use the chat or the questions tab if you want to post up questions or comments. Jason and I are going to be monitoring that questions tab throughout the presentation today. And then at the end, we will definitely go through all of your questions. So we want to make sure that any of your questions today get answered. So it's definitely your day, and we want to make sure that all your questions get asked. So I'm just going to turn my camera off just so you have a full screen of the content, and that way it's a lot better viewing for all of you. Okay, so the first place I want to start is actually helping you understand your patients. And because in order for us to dive into this topic, I think what we really want to think about is redefining our systems and processes to, make our patients happy. And we want to create loyal, active, referring patients. We want to make sure our patients stay with us forever. They refer their friends and family. And a lot of us are using some really kind of old school processes still. And I was working with a practice recently who I've been helping them transition from paper charts to electronic health records. And, it was interesting. We played this game about, do you really understand your patient demographics? And, there is a report in Dentrix. It's called the Practice Statistics Report. And I would love for all of you after this webinar is over to go and run that report and look and see what your practice demographics are. So we play this little game with this practice because I really felt like I was getting a lot of pushback helping them implement some new systems and processes for electronic services and not only with their billing practices, but also with their communication practices. And so we played this game and I wanted to know, what do you feel the percentage is of your patients over the age of 70? And, we had I think it was a team of about 17. And I would say over half of their team thought that they had about 50% of their practice base was over the age of 50. And even a couple of them thought that they had like 75% of their patients were over the age of 70. And so we were playing this little game and I gave out prizes and I said, okay, over the age of 70 in your practice is 13%. And all of them were like shocked. You could see the jaws dropping to the floor because they really had a perception that they had an older patient base. The highest percentage of demographics in this practice was 14%, and it was the age group between 51 to 60. And, that's my age group, and I'm like, I'm not old. And so it was really fun to go through with this practice exactly what their patient demographics was. And because a lot of times you have this preconceived notion of the demographics of your practice, because sometimes you feel like you have an older population when it's really not the case. And so I really encourage all of you, maybe as soon as this webinar is over, go to your Dentrix software and run that practice statistics report and see what the percentage is of the age demographics of your practice, because it's just fascinating that you can see. Maybe you want to play a little game with your practice. Maybe you have some prizes or something like that that you can give away if people can guess the closest demographics. So that would be really fun. So I really want to get you to understand the patients that are in your practice, because we're dealing with a lot of different age groups now. You know, we have the baby boomers, and so your baby boomers are between the ages of 58 to 76. And, you know, so these are the baby boomers in my family. You can see me up there with my mom, up there in the upper left corner. That's my mom. She's definitely a baby boomer, just turned 75 this year. And then we've got Kevin's mom. She is, I think, 77. And so these are the baby boomers in your practice. And they are using technology more now than they ever have in their entire life. They might have caregivers or family members that are helping them with their daily activities. I know that both Kevin and I helped our parents with getting, you know, appointments for COVID vaccines, or, you know, tests if they needed to get tested, you know, because all of that is online now. And, you know, their grandkids are millennials, and their grandkids are helping them and teaching them how to engage with the world through technology. And so it's so fun to watch our parents engage with technology, because they are using it now more so than ever before. I'm going to show you some statistics here pretty soon about your baby boomers in your practice. A couple of the things about our baby boomers is that, you know, back in the day when they were kind of younger, is they were the age group when, you know, credit cards became more popular. They were very career driven. You know, money was kind of a status symbol to them, and so, you know, it's important for us to really understand the traits with our different generations. Our next group is the Gen X. That's us, me. I'm a Gen Xer. I just turned 53. Just like last week, just turned 53. So I am right smack in the middle of Gen X. And then my sister and I up there in the upper right corner. And then the lower picture was me at my 30th class reunion with all my Gen X girlfriends from high school. And you know, so this is the age group between 42 and 57, around that age group. We were raised with technology. You know, we were like the first generation to really have personal technology. You know, we had music devices, or we had the first kind of BlackBerry iPhones, or BlackBerry smartphones. And then we're very comfortable using technology. We are very tech savvy. The Gen X group, a lot of us are now helping our parents with technology. And then our kids are millennials. And so it's really fun to kind of be right in the middle of this technology age. We were responsible for the dot-com boom. I mean, that happened right when we were probably, I guess, in our 40s. And so we are very, very tech savvy, very resourceful. Remember that we were like latchkey kids. A lot of times we grew up and both of our parents were working. I know that, you know, for me, I grew up in a single mom household, and so my mom had to work in order to take care and put food on the table. And so, you know, I was very resourceful. I had to figure it out. I had to work also, you know, and so the Gen X group they're very resourceful, and we love to research. We love to use technology, and our kids, you know, we kind of have to keep up with our kids because our kids are now millennials. And so here are some of our kids. These are our millennials these days. There's my daughter there in the upper left corner. She's 29. She is a millennial. And then I've got my little niece, Jess, who just graduated college. And then Kevin's daughter, Julia, is right smack in the middle of grad school. And so these are our millennials. And millennials now are in their prime spending years. You know, they're in their mid to late 20s, 30s. The oldest millennial just turned 40. And so, you know, they are in their prime spending year right now. They are now the largest population size in the US. They took over the baby boomers in the last census. So they are now the largest group, the largest population in our country. And it is very important that we understand this group of patients and cater to their needs, because they're a little bit needy. And we have to kind of shift our mindset to learn how to cater to them and give them what they're looking for. A lot of them are looking about having a unique experience so they can share it with others. They are constantly sharing experience with their friends and family. And so I just wanted to give you that a little bit, and I want to hear a little bit from you guys. So let's go straight back to the questions or the chat box. Tell me, I want to hear from you. What do you think in your experience, how do you feel about these demographics of patients? Are there any characteristics that you think are important to these age groups? What do you think? I want to get a little bit of information from you. Do you think there's any characteristics about our millennials or our baby boomers that you think I kind of overlooked that's important to our topic today? Another thing about the research that I did with these age groups is our millennials are actually one of our most educated groups of patients right now. They are highly skilled and they are one of the most educated that have ever grown up in our country before. They are changing the way businesses are run. They're changing the way we communicate, and they're changing the way that we manage teams. So we really need to take a strong focus on this group of patients. But where I kind of want to spend a little bit more time is our patients that sometimes we have the most challenge with, and that's our baby boomers or our older population. I get this comment a lot when I'm helping offices is my older patients will never pay their bill or submit forms online. And that's so not true. I have done a lot of research on this group because I do get this pushback a lot when I'm helping offices integrate e-services or integrate different systems and processes. And so 80% of people over the age of 65 have a computer, and 73% with an internet subscription. This is from the most recent census. Well, this is 2018 census data. And 63% of people over the age of 65 have a smartphone. Yeah, 63%. And these statistics continue to rise. This data was from 2018. And so I know that these statistics continue to go higher and higher as we start to teach this group more and more about technology. So I also read this, of course, since I'm 53, I do get the AARP magazine. And there was a recent study that AARP did recently in their magazine. Adoption among Americans ages 60 to 69 jumped 81%. And 62% of those over the age of 70 and older are using smartphones. I think that's pretty high percentage, don't you? Yeah, I know, I think so. I can share you that link with that study in it if you want me to. It was a really great, interesting article about smartphone adoption among our older Americans. So we definitely see this trend happening. So this trend is happening because they're FaceTiming with their grandkids. I think that because we haven't had, now we've going on our third year with not really having a lot of in-person events and family time, our grandparents, our parents really had to learn how to use their technology so they could FaceTime with those grandkids. They don't want to miss out on anything. A lot of them are reading news and books on their computers. I know recently, so this photo is Kevin's parents. They both live in Oklahoma, and you can see that Ruth Ellen has her smartphone in her hand. That phone is in her hand all the time because she is always on Facebook, checking in with her friends. She is messaging with her granddaughter. She's messaging with us, and she just has a great time on her smartphone all the time. She's a very social, active internet user. They love to share photos, especially when they are out and about, or they want to see, what we're having for dinner, or if we get a birthday present from them, they always want to see a picture of it, to make sure that it got there safely. And a lot of them are doing shopping online. Oh my gosh. So my husband Kevin is on his way down to Tulsa right now to go visit with his parents. And one of the first things that he's going to do with his dad is do an eBay training session on so he can start selling some of his fishing lures and tackle on eBay. And so they really love to learn. They love to engage with new technology. And so whenever I get pushback about our older population, it's like, no, they really want to learn. And because they're kind of being forced into it, but they do want to learn. They don't want to miss anything. A lot of them are being forced to schedule appointments online. Both Kevin and I had to help our parents with COVID appointments. And so we helped them navigate that and learn how to do that. A lot of telehealth visits with their doctors. And so it's really been fun, a little challenging, because they need a little bit more one-on-one help, but they just dig learning new things. So number one, I feel like patients will love this new technology with bill pay online and connecting is the greater connectivity. Statistics show that over 30% of our patients connect with their providers after hours. This was an ADA study that was done recently. Patients want to message you or pay their bill while they're out of town. A lot of us are now getting back to traveling, or we want to be able to message our providers so that we can feel like we're staying connected. And then now that our parents are getting a little bit older, they may have caregivers or family members, and maybe even some of them have a medical power of attorney. And so being able to connect all these different people together is the number one reason I'm finding why people are really engaging with this technology, in more so than they ever have before. There are lots of necessary conveniences. So this is me with my daughter. For those of you that know me, I have a special needs daughter, and so I do have to manage all her finances. And so if you have patients in your practice that are managing their parents or maybe a special needs child's finances, or maybe even you have college students in your practice where the parents are still managing the finances, then these are necessary conveniences for those families to be able to take care of either those older parents or special needs adults or college age students where the parents are still taking care of their finances, because they may not be living in the same states. They may not be living in the same area where they can, walk in and pay their bill or walk in and schedule appointments. So this is almost becomes a necessary convenience for your patients. They're booking holiday travel already online for those that need help. And a lot of people are ordering groceries and food delivery for family members. So many things are happening online that it is critical that we keep up with the pace. And so the number two reason why your patients will love this technology is to have better online tools. When I think about online tools, it is important that we keep up. Otherwise, our patients may have to look elsewhere and find a practice where those necessary conveniences are. Those online tools now are becoming critical and almost non-negotiable in my opinion, because we need to be able to create those loyal patients. And part of creating loyalty is being able to meet them where it's convenient for them, you know, and we need to be able to connect with our patients on their favorite device when it's convenient for them. We have to make it all about them because they're our patients. We need them to refer. We need them to continue to come over and over and over again. We need to keep our patient retention high. We need them to refer, so we have new patients coming into our practice, and to grow our practice, keep our practices alive and growing. You know, with over 75 million millennials in our country nowadays, they are a strong group. And we need to really learn how to market to this group, because that group of patients is very, very active, and you know, they're the ones that are going to be engaging and socializing and sharing your information with their friends and family. So one thing I really love to do with my practices is to practice using your online technology. You know, either it's bill pay or if it's, you know, online forms, is using your own device and seeing how easy it is. Because if you practice and you find it easy, then your patients will as well. So like I said, we need to meet them where they are, whether that is your millennial patients, whether that's your Gen Xers and your baby boomers. Right now, you know, I was recently at a homeowners association meeting, and you know, one of the people in the meeting, they were talking about how they want everything to be sent in the mail, and you know, because they check the mail, they want paper, and you know, I kind of spoke up and I said, you know what, I don't get any mail anywhere. I barely get a piece of mail at all because I'm usually constantly traveling. And if you want to connect with me, then it is going to be either online or through a text or through an email. And so if we want to be able to connect with our large population, 75 million strong with our millennial groups, and then our third largest group, which is our Gen Xers, they're constantly on this technology. So traveling, managing family members' finances, you know, they want to be able to get the information exactly what they would see in a paper letter or a paper statement. They want to be able to see that online. And so all of these things, they can pay from their smartphone, they can view the statement from their smartphone. And, you know, we want to be able to connect with people wherever they are in their space. And because those are the ways that we are going to get patients to refer other patients to our practice, because what they're going to feel like is they're giving me what I want. You know, I've been asking for, you know, for you to text me my appointment, or I've been asking to get you know, an email reminder or text reminder. And as we start to give our patients what they're asking for, then they're going to stay. You're going to see your patient retention improve. You're going to see your collections improve, and you know, everything is going to improve when you give patients those types of services that they're asking for. The third reason why people will love this technology is making it personal. You know, humans talk about the amazing experiences they have with their friends and family. And, you know, so here is Kevin and Julia having a conversation over a coffee. And, you know, so they could be talking about their dentist. They could be talking about the experience that they had at your practice, about how easy it is to engage with you, how easy it is to message the practice, how easy it was to schedule my appointment, how easy it was to pay my bill after hours. And you know, another thing that our millennial age group want to do is support local and small businesses. It's a huge trend in America. You know, nowadays we have, you know, what is it, Small Business Saturday? Small Business Saturday is really almost taking over Cyber Monday as far as shopping is concerned, because so many people want to support small and local businesses. You know, our patients will refer when they feel like they're taken care of, and it's easy to communicate with you. You know, a lot of times it's really difficult to call these days because we might be in our car, we might be, at a place where we don't have cell service, and the only way we might be able to connect is maybe through text or email if we're on Wi-Fi. And so we want to be able to make it easy for our patients to communicate. We also want to make it easy for our team. And you know, not only do all these things, you know, everything I've talked about today has kind of revolved around the patients, you know, greater connectivity, better online tools, and a personalized experience. You know, it seems like a lot of these things have been revolving around the patient, but we also have to think about how does it affect our practice. And, you know, nowadays we have to not only make it easy for the patient, but we also have to make it easy for our team. I'm seeing that dental teams these days a lot of them are short-staffed. A lot of offices are really having a challenging time to keep up with phone calls and keep up with, you know, doing a lot of things on paper. And so moving over into an electronic system gives your team kind of a breath of fresh air as well, because patients can message you through the secure messaging. Bill pay gets paid very quickly. There's not a lot of paper to push. And so we have to think about not only how can we make it easy for our teams, but how can we make it easy and efficient for our practice. One thing that I did want to bring up is that we did do another one of these webinars just at the tail end of last year, where we talked more about the profitability of electronic billing. And I would love it for, you know, maybe Jason can maybe resend that recording out to all of you, so you kind of had that. We did one more for the team and the practice and the profitability of the practice. And then this one is kind of part two, where it's more about the patient and the connectivity and the making it personal side. So we definitely have done webinars for both sides, the patient side and the practice side. All right, so I've given you a lot of things to think about today. And I know that some of you online today, you might be thinking, okay, Dana, you know, don't upset my routine. I've got my routine down. It works really well for me, but I do see your side of it. I do see the benefits of moving to an electronic billing system. And I get it. I totally get it. Now you might be thinking, now what does that look like for me? Because not only is it about your patients, but it is all about you, right? I would never recommend something that I have never used myself in my own practice, or I have seen work in another practice. Okay. I never blindly recommend anything. That's one thing that you can always count on from me, is that I will never blindly recommend anything to any of you. And so I've been there, you know, it's like, you're moving my cheese, right? You're moving my cheese. Now, what's in it for me? What's it going to look like for me if I switch over to this? And I'll never forget when I was working in a practice and I was doing paper statements, and I was doing statements once a month, printing them to paper, having to sort through them one by one by one, and, you know, putting a personal message on there, handwriting little notes. And, you know, sometimes I had big red stickers that were ones that were overdue. And I mean, it would take me a couple days to get through my statements, and it was exhausting. And so when I heard about QuickBill in my own practice, and this was, gosh, you know, I don't even remember the first time QuickBill came out. It came out before my practice was chartless. And so when QuickBill came out, our office was not chartless yet. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I can't even use this yet because my office is not chartless. Well, I was very naive. To come to find out that you do not have to be chartless, you don't have to be paperless in order to use QuickBill. And QuickBill is the #1 e-service that I wish I would have started earlier, because it is the most efficient, most time saver, money saver e-service that you can start using. So I kind of know what you're thinking, because I've been in your shoes. And so what you might be thinking at this point is, okay, Dana, you want to upset my routine, but what's it going to look like? You know, I still want to be able to review each statement before it goes out. Absolutely, 100%. You still get to look at every statement that goes out. You can still put a personal message on that statement if you want to. You can still see any of the notes that are written in the guarantor note if you're writing any kind of financial notes in the guarantor note. You can still do statements every day, or you can do statements twice a week, or you could do statements weekly. Your system, your process of sending statements does not change. The only thing that's different is it's not paper. You don't have to print, fold, stuff, and lick all those awful envelopes when you switch over to QuickBill, okay? So if you want to get rid of all of that, the stuffing of the envelopes, the licking of the envelopes, and the buying stamps, you can eliminate all of that. You still get all the personal touches that you're so used to. You also can still have your logo on the statement, which is awesome, you know, so you still get, everything is basically the same. You just get to do it better. I can guarantee you. And so I've personally used QuickBill in my own practice and implemented the email statements in multiple practices. I'm so jealous that I didn't have email statements in my own practice when I was working in a practice. So I'm so jealous for you guys now. I was actually helping a practice implement email statements back in, I think it was like October last year. And this practice, we sent a statement. This is like a test view that you can see on the screen right now. But look in the email status column. If you can see that, the email status, where some of them say sent, some of them say email opened, some of them say payment posted. So what was really cool, while I was sitting there, we sent out a batch of statements, and we watched, like within about 5 minutes, we watched the statements go from sent to viewed to opened to payment. in about 5 minutes. We watched all of that happen like all at one time. It was so cool for me to see that actually happen in a practice. And so for any of you that have read any of my blogs or attended any of my other webinars, you know how important it is to get your money as quickly as possible. Collecting the patient portion as quickly as possible helps your practice be more profitable. And so, if you can rewatch the Quick Bill webinar we did last year on profitability, you'll see a much bigger picture about how that is with the practice and profitability with Quick Bill. But I just wanted to let you know that I understand what you might be thinking right now, because I've been there. And so definitely, if you have more questions, post those up in the questions tab. We're going to go through questions here in just a few minutes. So this is just kind of a sample of what the patient might see with the email. You can see that it's branded with your practice. They can pay in full. They could view the e-statement right from their mobile device or from their computer. Maybe they get emails to their work computer, or maybe they get them directly to their phone. So that's just really such a convenience for our patients, and you will get paid faster. I mean, your patients get their billing statement, pretty much instantly. So that is just one of the, I think, biggest pieces that I really want you all to take away, is that your process is basically the same. It's just faster, more efficient, more convenient for you and your patients. Okay, now I'm going to leave you with this. This is me and Kevin's mom. We were having fun back at Christmas time because they all got brand new iPhones for Christmas, and I'm helping Ruth Ellen learn about her new iPhone. And so here's kind of your homework. Okay, here's your action plan. Your patients, your seasoned patients, your older Americans, your older patients, at least who you think your older patients are, maybe over the age of 70, over the age of 75, they want to learn. So teach them, okay? Maybe create a little tutorial tip sheet that will help them navigate your technology. I love to create tip sheets. And so if you had just a little worksheet, maybe just a little half page that you could print out and give to your patients, teach them how to use your technology, because the more they understand it, the more they know how to use it, the more your patients will engage with it. So this is your homework. If you're using any technology, especially the bill pay, and then teach them how to share this information with family members. So maybe your patients want you to, send it to have a caregiver or somebody on their account that you could send the statement to. So really engage your patient with education, because if we educate them how to use the technology, they will use it. They will love it because they want to learn. They want to be engaged. They want to feel connected and not left out. So that's my little homework for you all. As you start to add more technology, if you add Quick Bill, there is a little limited time offer. So if you add Quick Bill, then that's going to be kind of your homework. If you've added other technology, like maybe Patient Engage or any other online forms, then do the same thing. Create these little tip sheets for your patients and really help educate them on how to use it, because I don't want to hear that, none of my patients use it. And it could be just that you haven't taught them. They want to be taught and they want to learn and they want to engage with it. And once they start to see how easy it is and how much it benefits them, then they will love it. They will love it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for all of you. And I hope that this information was really helpful. I hope that you really learn some new things about your patients and how to kind of market to them. And don't forget that there is a handout. If you look on the little handouts tab, you can grab the handout that Jason put in the handout tab. And I definitely want to get to some questions. And so I don't know if Jason wants to come back on. There we are.
Hey there, Dana. Yeah, we do have a few questions
good.
here. So
Perfect.
thanks again for your presentation and providing all that information for us. So here's a few questions we'll get started with. One is, if you don't have quick bill email, how do I get started? And is there an additional charge to the practice?
So quick bill email. There's quick bill, which is the quick bill that I grew up on, is that you can join quick bill and Dentrix will send your patients paper statements. So that runs the practice about 80 cents per statement. So remember that the national average for sending a paper statement out of your office is about $5. And so if you at least switch over to quick bill, the regular quick bill statements, it still saves you over $4 per statement to your practice's bottom line. Now the email is, I don't know the cost of email statements, but I do know that when you add email statement, then to get that pay now button, you will have a Dentrix WorldPay account so that those payments will then post directly into your patient ledger. So there probably is a just a kind of a switch of your merchant, at least for the statements. And but I don't know the registration costs on that because I'm not technically a salesperson, but maybe Jason would be able to answer that question.
Yeah, for sure. So if you have questions about that, feel free to email me. My emails are tied to this webinar, and I'd be happy to get that information to you. And also on the screen here, if you want to go to dentrix.com/ebilling video, you can actually request information from a product specialist there as well. So those are some of the options. And then one of the questions, Dana says, does the practice pay like a cost per each email statement sent? And no, that's totally unlimited, right?
Yeah, it's unlimited for the email. So you don't pay a per statement fee for email. You just pay a per statement fee if they send it on paper, just because there's a return envelope and there's postage.
Correct. Right. And so another question that came up, Dana, is in addition to the email option, is there a text option that will take them to the payment portal?
So the text portion is coming. I've been crossing my fingers. Jason and I have been emailing back and forth for several months, and I'm like, Jason, when's the text coming? And we do have a little bit of an update. I think it's going into beta testing. Jason said maybe next week. And then, so it will be out probably within the next maybe 4 to 6 weeks or so.
Yep. So good. Okay. Let's see what other questions we have here. If we already have a WorldPay merchant ID, is there any additional cost? And I think that there is a cost for quick bill email for that, and we can get that information to you.
Yeah, but that'll be a very easy transition. If you're already using WorldPay for your merchant, like you're already using Dentrix Pay, that's going to be a super simple transition. Yeah, and then you just have to register for the email statements. So it should be a really easy registration process.
Right. And another question here is, how often do you recommend sending patient billing statements via email?
Daily.
Daily.
Yeah,
right.
I love doing billing statements every day. In fact, what I like to do is tie it to your end of day routine. So you would, balance out your day, make sure that all your payments that you posted balance out, and then I send billing statements every day.
Oh, terrific. Yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
Okay, and another question that's associated with that is, do patients pay faster from paper statements or electronic statements? Do you have any information about that based on your practices?
So I don't have any hard statistics on that yet, but I do know that patients will pay faster if you send statements every day, because you will get paid faster if you send statements every day and you send them electronically. And because when you send statements in the mail, first, as soon as you put them in the mailbox, then it's going to take 3 to 5 days for your patients to even receive it. And then it's going to sit on their table or their counter for another 1 to 3 weeks. And then they're going to pay you and send a check or a credit card. And then it's going to take 3 to 5 days to get back to your office. So that whole process for paper statement could take anywhere between 10 to 30 days for you to get paid. So you will always get paid faster with an electronic statement,
Terrific. Okay, a couple more questions here, and then I think we'll be done. So one is, how long is the implementation process? And you kind of touched on it, that it's pretty quick.
It's very quick, yeah. I have an office right now that just registered for statements, email statements, like the middle of January, and then they were up and going the next week, and then they had some Dentrix training still left, so I spent another, 30, 45 minutes with the office manager just to answer some of her questions and get the daily statements going. And so they were up and going within, about a week and a half. So it was really quickly.
All right. Okay. And another question that came in here that will probably be our last questions is, if the patient requests an EOB with a statement, are you able to attach that to email?
Oh, that's a great question. I haven't received that question before. I don't believe right now that there is attachments, but always remember that, with some of the e-services that Henry Schein One provides, there is secure messaging available, and then we can always secure message an EOB to a patient, or right now it's like tax time, and so we could send statements and things that way. I haven't heard that question yet, so maybe we need to get back to whoever asked that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds good. Candace asked that, and
Okay.
I'll get back with her on that
Okay.
information. So anyway, I appreciate your time, Dana. You gave us a wealth of information with your experience, and we really appreciate it. I want to thank again everybody for joining us, spending the time to be with us today, and just a reminder about, hope that you'll be able to fill out the quick survey at the end. And again, thank you so much, Dana, for your time. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
and I appreciate it.
Okay, bye everybody.